out to New Matamoros, where Frontier is hosting Caldwell in the first round of the Division 7 Region 27 sectionals. Picking things up midway through the first, Willow Smitley to Anna Bowersock, who hits a three. Lady Cougars lead 11-7. Skipping to the first possession of the third, Coley Arick gets into the paint and hits the runner to cut Frontier's lead to 2. Lady Cougars will get it going again as Smitley attacks the paint on the fast break and lays it in to push Frontier's lead to 6 as Caldwell takes a timeout. Lady Redskins respond though. Lila Lau buries the corner three to take the lead by a point. Alexis Livingston then fires a long two and she hits to take the lead right back. Michaela Mamaw briefly left the game after taking a hard fall, but she gets right back in and hits a big three here to make it 28-24 Caldwell. Frontier would tie it up, but Lowe able to connect from the corner again to put the Lady Redskins up by 3. Next possession on the pick and roll as Smitley gets to Eleni Sisler for the and one to cut it to 1. Frontier goes on to get the close win, 35-32. They will play Malvern in the sectional final on Saturday.